Welcome, everybody. We're back again on to episode 5 or 4, I don't remember. Cup of Simple Guys or something else.
Geeks Who Drink, maybe.
Geeks Who Drink.
With your glasses, yeah.
Brought to you by K-Real Media, the one and only video podcast out here coming out of Kent that we know of. Today we have a special guest for you. He is renowned, big guy, very flexible. One pro fight, 8 semi-pro fights, all. So he's about 9-0 right now. Undefeated, champion of Western Washington in MMA. The most beautiful radio voice I have ever heard. Greg.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. But beautiful. I appreciate that. But dang.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How about yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. So thanks for doing this.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Greg a little bit. He's a heavyweight fighter in Kent, and he's a good friend of mine, and we trained together. So let's get to it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So how do we get to know each other? Let's start with that. How do we meet?
Oh man, well, meet by in the gym. You came in the gym one day, as I remember, over here at the ring gym in our facility. And the next thing I know, I was like, "Oh man, we got another big guy here now." Because I mean, you're a pretty sized guy. And I was like, and that's one thing about MMA that doesn't have too many big guys in the sport, right there. Usually, the guys are probably less than 200 pounds, or probably about the 180 pounds or 150 pound division, and you got plenty of guys like that. But MMA is really relatively new in the sports arena right there. It's only been existing for probably about a decade or two at least, or probably about a little bit more, but it's not that old as football and basketball. So not too many heavy guys do it. When you get to the heavyweight guys, they're usually in more involved sports like football, basketball, something major that pays multi-millions of dollars and things like that. But MMA is on its way up, but I digress. But like I said, not too many big guys, but when you came in, I was like, finally somebody to roll with, some big guy you're hitting, all right. Yeah, so you've been coming ever since then, and hey, we just grown into a pretty good partnership and all from then on in.
Well, I mean, I only started actually training like
I was trying to butter it up, man. Give me some credit. Just trying to butter it up a little bit, right. I was trying to help you out a little bit.
No, so I've been part of the gym for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
So I've known Greg for 3 years.
On and off, but yeah.
I've been kind of slacking it or whatever. But how long have you been at that gym?
Let's see. I'm going to say probably about at least 3.5, close to 4 years now. Ever since I've been up in Washington, it was one of the first gyms I was looking forward to when I moved up here, and basically loved the coach's philosophy about martial arts and what he had to teach, and I'm definitely seeing the progression and how I grow just in martial arts in general, forget MMA, but just in martial arts, definitely seeing the progression.
Were you part of any other gyms before, or?
Not up here. I was a part of another gym down in basically where I'm down in the south where I'm from, and I was in Louisiana. Known for Louisiana Shreveport.
And what made you want to leave that sunny state?
sunny state. I like that.
Cloudy Washington.
Cloudy Washington.
Yeah. What's the story behind that?
Well, basically, my uncle used to live here years ago. He told me so many stories about it, how much of a time he had as a young man, and just exploring and stuff like that, and just how he even gained his so-called fortune or just his lifestyle. And I came up here one summer, and that was the first mistake. Came over there in the summertime, and I had a ball, and I was like, man, this is the place I want to try. And plus, also, I lived in the South all my life, down to Louisiana, Arkansas, and I was like, man, let me try something different. I've been living in the South all my life, and that's all I know. I want to try something different, so decided to come up here and give it a try.
So you just got on like a back of a Harley motorcycle and just like
something like that. Yeah. Just boom, came out there. Had a little U-Haul in the back of a a little SUV I had though. But yeah, moved all my stuff and hey, been sitting here.
And then like, did you plant a flag right here in like Kent, or where are you at?
Oh, Renton. Yeah, so pretty much right up the road basically.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. So you're out here by yourself.
Yep.
Damn, that's pretty.
Yeah, don't feel sorry for me at all. No.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Next question right there.
yeah.
But let me ask you this: what made you come into the MMA gym? Of anything else, have you done martial arts before? What made you bring it into the MMA gym?
Honestly, Vitaly kept nagging me.
Oh, really?
Sorry.
Zohan, yes.
He kept like, yo, you need to go do this. I'm moving up. I'm doing all this other stuff. And
right.
And there was sometimes back in the clubbing days where you get into some like heated things, and then like he seems to know what he's doing, and I'm over here like just a big chest up, whatever. But secretly, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So
you just got that appearance though, like, hey, you fuck with me, I'll kill you.
And nobody messes with me anyway because I'm a big guy. You probably have the same thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like the big guy fear, and everyone's afraid of the big guy.
Right.
Unless big guys need to know how to fight too. So
when it comes to it, exactly right.
So I mean, I started to go, and then I had some issues with my work, and then I wanted to dedicate more time, and then finally, I guess around COVID time, what happened in August that made me really get dedicated? I think I got finally I've handled my parenting plan stuff with my kid, and I started seeing my kid a lot more. So that probably was like a turning point where I was just more focused on what I really want to do besides just partying and anything else like that. So I started to show up more and just kind of like dedicate time to like more interest out of it, I guess. So
doing the adulting thing, basically, the proper and all that.
Well, what about you? Why did you? What got you into it?
Into martial arts?
Yeah, in the beginning.
Oh man, going back to where I was you're going back where I was a kid. Well, basically, you're going back to martial arts. It's going back to giving you a thing of self-confidence and all, you would say.
So did you like do wrestling in high school or?
Oh, no wrestling. I didn't even do that. I mean, usually.
You were like smoking pot on the
kind of. Don't tell my mom though. Don't go public. But no, just growing up, I was a quiet kid. Didn't have a lot of friends and things like that.
You weren't a football player?
I played football, but I wasn't like the top football sportsman. There was no coordination. Because, I mean, there's one thing about being a big guy, but if you don't have any coordination, then they're going to be saying, okay, you're useless. You just got this big body for nothing. And they did say that before. So I was picked on. Yes, I was. Big as I am, I was picked on for all y'all saying. Big guys get picked on too. But so I was picked on a lot. I was quiet. I didn't have barely no friends growing up. So and I tried to play basketball, football, and I did get better as time progressed, but I was nowhere near as those guys who've been doing it since they were small. And if you were bad on the court or bad on the field, they talked about you bad. I mean, hurt your feelings, make you want to cry in the corner, and I did do that a couple times. But one of my friends. Back in Arkansas, he was about pretty much as tall as I was, but he was about 3 years older. He told me about Taekwondo.
How tall are you?
Me, I'm 6'7".
6'7", okay.
Yeah,
that's wow.
It's all right, not bad. Just gonna lay down on the table. But it's just about 6'7". He was about 6'7", 6'6", but he was about 3 years older. Well, basically, he got me. He was in Taekwondo, and I always wanted to do martial arts. Basically, going back from the old 1980s movies, from like John Claude Van Damme, Bloodsport, Chuck Norris. My parents knew I had an interest in martial arts. They told me about Bruce Lee and things like that. And I used to watch all those movies, and I was like, man, just to do that, just to have that power, just to have that respect and that discipline.
And then Taekwondo is like it's kind of like with
almost. That's more kung fu-ish, but I understand what you're going for. Right.
So what's the difference between Taekwondo and Kung Fu type?
Well, basically they're all martial arts, but it's just one that focuses on a little bit more different aspect than the other. Like for Taekwondo, that's basically the way of the hand and foot, and what they use is more depending on what Taekwondo style you follow, because it's just like Kung Fu. Kung Fu has many different types of styles. So does the Taekwondo has some different types of styles.
It's all like a language.
Yeah, it's almost like a language, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you see a language, because that's what martial arts is a language. If you see the language, you can kind of identify what martial arts style that is, though, for those who are in the martial arts community. You know?
Okay.
So for Taekwondo, it's more involved in kicking. They do have hands, but they're more involved in kicking and flexibility, which is where you told me I'm flexible. That's where my flexibility.
Okay. So
Right,
so
right.
back in the day, your buddy introduced you to Taekwondo,
Right.
And then that's where you got your flexibility from?
Yes, because over time practicing, I was going every single time I get, because I just kind of fell in love with it, because that seemed like it was for me, and it seemed like something I could do, something I was like decently good at. And the thing about it, though, no matter how old you were, where you started from, you can always get better. It seemed like that gave me a light at the end of the tunnel. When I was playing sports, it seemed like, man, I would never catch up to these guys. These guys been playing since they was like 5 years old or something. They know all the tricks and trade. But when martial arts, you don't talk bad about anybody. You try to lift them up and like, hey, come on, you can do this too. And this is how you do it and all. So it gave me a little confident booster. And then next thing I know, I was doing it all the time. Became there. I just started coming. I mean, made, third degree black belt in Taekwondo before. I went transited to something else. But yeah, that gave me my flexibility, my coordination. A lot of stuff started to happen up from there.
Yeah. So how old were you when you started that journey?
I was, about teenager. I was like 15, 16 years old.
So it's
something
probably like 16. So that's probably like 8th grade and 9th grade.
Yeah, somewhere
So
like that. Ninth grade, I would say about high school. Yeah.
Okay.
Just me in high school and all.
So was that like a school program there, or it was just
no,
outside?
actually, it was just on the side. I was, trying to do the sports thing.
Like a dirty gym and the
Yeah, something like that. The back in the mall, maybe the guys say like, "Yo, teach
cool
Taekwondo."
kids are
Cool kids.
lifting weights. You're over there. I'm doing Taekwondo.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing this week in Taekwondo?
Taekwondo, like what the hell is that? Taekwondo? Oh, you doing that ballerina shit? Oh,
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I know. That's what they say. They didn't say that. So I'm like, yeah. But they found out I was doing it, though.
Man,
Exactly.
Dude.
They looked down upon it, but I mean, I'm glad I did it, because it gave me the coordination I needed. It gave me the confidence I needed. So it really, definitely as a kid, it helped me out, though.
So from doing it in school, how long before you moved here, or like that was? So you were probably part of some gyms after high school, I'm sure, in the South over there.
Oh yeah, well after high school, I went down to basically went to college down in Louisiana Tech, and that was in Renton, which is just basically about an hour drive away from my hometown. And so I went to another gym, down there and all, and I continued the martial arts training from there, where I got up to the rank of the third degree and stuff like that. And I did tournaments and stuff like that from there on in, won a couple of them, or quite a few of them, the one I went to. And it was great, though. That was my moment. I was like, man, I definitely, and that's what I wanted to do. That's what transitioned me to fighting. I was like, man, I like this. I like the sparring and the match. There's just something about it, because it's just a one-on-one competition. You can't depend on nobody else. You have to answer for every single thing you do. So if you're a big mouth who likes to talk, okay, you have to be truthful. You hope you can back it up, and we're going to see. And that's what I liked about it. There was no groups. It was just that one-on-one, and it's something about the fight and the battle that it really inspired me to get better and to do better, because I wanted to win. I wanted to be on top. I wanted to basically see, can I best not only my opponent but myself? Can I get past a certain level? Can I pass that level I did yesterday or two years ago?
Yeah. Did you enjoy the crowd experience of it, or is it just more of the fight itself?
At first, I didn't enjoy the crowd, because the crowd made me nervous. And like I said, I was a quiet guy. So baby, you're the quiet guy. Usually 9 times out of 10, the big crowd make you nervous. I remember when I played football and basketball. Oh man, I was before the game started, I was back in the bag, almost about to throw up or shit in my pants.
Really? Is that bad?
Yeah, it was that bad, because I was nervous, because I was thinking like, man, if I messed up, they're gonna talk about me. They're gonna talk like, oh my god, what they gonna say?
That big guy, look at him.
Look at him, struggling, can't even keep up. What the hell he doing on the field? Kick him off the field.
Oh man.
So yeah, it made me nervous though. But basically, at first when doing a Taekwondo competition, I was nervous. But then after that first initial contact that hit, you like, okay, let's go ahead and get it there. And then there's just something comes out of you. And next thing you know, you're not worried about the crowd. And then when you win and they applaud you, clapping, and you be like, yeah, I like this shit.
Yeah. So when you switch over to actually fighting, Actual real fighter.
Actually, real fighter. Yeah, right. Not the fake stuff. Yeah, right.
Has it always been with Ring Demon?
No, actually. When I was in Louisiana, that was when the transition before when I got to MMA. It was more of coming up to where I just graduated college, and I was like, man, I actually want to do, try matches out, in martial arts. And when I graduated college and went back to Arkansas, there was my friend introduced me to a man who had a gym probably about 35 minutes away from my hometown. Started training there, and then my friend who introduced me, he did a fight. I cornered him, and he said, all right, man, when you gonna do it? And I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's go ahead and do it. I was nervous about it because I was like, it was our first competition, MMA competition ever. Signed me up. Nervous about it, like, man, why the hell I'm doing this? And I think that's
I'm gonna get knocked
out. I'm gonna get submitted with something broken. What the hell I'm doing here?
Yeah.
All that runs through your mind at first. But then once you're in the heat of the battle, it seems like the crowd and everything and the fear leaves. It's like the day of. It's like the, what do you call it, calm before the storm. Mm-hmm. And it's just like you're nervous leading up to it. And the day of the fight, you're kind of like, it's a calmness. And it's the craziest thing. And every fighter probably would tell you this. Like, it's something about the day of the fight. It's just a calm. You're already nervous, biting your nails.
So you're walking out to your whatever music you picked. And
yeah.
It's just like,
it's just like another day though. Like, all right, let's get it. And I won my first match through some punches and kicks, and it was crazy. I think it still might be on YouTube. Actually, you might want to look that up and see.
Okay,
but it's on there.
If somebody actually wanted to find you on YouTube or on like Instagram, what's your tag?
Big Rig.
Big Rig.
Big Rig. That's what it is. I know. That's what it is. My coach back in Louisiana gave me that name. He was our second MMA coach after I did the first one. I went with my coach in Team Evolution down in Shreveport, Louisiana, Robert, and he started teaching me more about MMA and fighting, and he gave me the nickname Big Rig.
Big Rig.
Big Rig.
Okay, like because you open such big holes, you can put a big rig.
Yeah, I don't put a big rig through it. Right. It was just the sheer size of a person, because I mean, it's not too many guys my height and size that's in that. No.
Yeah. So, what made you decide to choose like Ring Demon versus other gyms in the area? Yeah, how many did you explore?
Let's see.
What made you decide that?
Well, first I started locally because I was just thinking about distance, how long you get there, right, price wise, and things like that. So I tried about, locally 2 or 3 others. I tried him. Because
for example, Zohan.
Love you, Zohan.
Yeah, back in the day, he would be like, "Yo, come out of this gym, like kickboxing gym or whatever," and we'd go there and we were like kickboxing and hitting bags and whatever. And then later on now, compared to what happening at Ring Demon, that was a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, but you already came with experience, so you probably. So, are there gyms on par with Ring Demon? Or but anyway, back to that.
Yeah, just gyms on par. I wouldn't say gym. I hate to say it, but I hadn't seen, from the few I've seen, I hadn't seen the gyms on par as of yet. I've been there probably about 1 or 2 times, but something about Ring Demon, and I kind of figured out it's pretty much the coach. It's the philosophy. This is where it's important to ask what the coach of the whatever gym you go to, what's their philosophy of martial arts. And by that answer, you can kind of tell, do they have a truly passion for it? Or is it more just something like, hey, they just, it's just something they do and all because, they've done it when they was a kid. It's just something they do. But you can kind of tell by the fruits and all, basically. Matter of fact, I tried one of the famous ones in Kirkland, when, Demetrius Johnson. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tried his gym up there, and I was thinking that was one of my prime reasons was coming up here and trying that gym, because he was, to me, like number one pound for pound. He does things well, from striking, takedown, wrestling. He was somebody I was kind of like, man, if I'm gonna be like a fighter, I need to be like him, especially gonna be MMA. So I went up to his gym, and the gym was pretty legit and all, but it's just during the time and me moving here is like, okay, out of my distance, and I can't afford it right now because the prices are way too high and all.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, I'll come back to them later. And I tried Eric's gym, and it's just one of those things that I've been going back to ever since then, he would say.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And would you be like one of the older fighters that there? I mean, not as far as like age wise, but like actually going there. Would you be like one of the OGs? Would you consider yourself that?
OG, man. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta get used to that now. Like, damn,
did you outlive like Zohan and Crouching Tiger, Hidden
Dragon, and little El Nino and all them. Shout out to El Nino. Shout out to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh, wow.
But yeah,
we got a new one in there now too. I thought. She was like in college or whatever, but like turns out she was like middle.
Yes.
We'll call the next little
call it shotgun actually.
Little shotgun.
The shotgun.
Yeah, you go watch out.
Because like look at her, you like no, you just.
I'm in 8th grade. I'm gonna beat your ass.
That's right.
Yeah, shoot, man.
Definitely. Yeah, that surprised me too. But yeah, we so OG wise, yeah, definitely with that and all. So. That's why I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to spend so much more time in first competing, but I'm going to do a little bit more, and then after that, retire, and hopefully I could probably coach and things like that later on.
Okay, all right. You going to become a world champion?
Well, I was one already, just in amateur wise, so hopefully do one in pro, and then that way I'll be like, all right, retired. That's it. That's the goal.
Good to go.
That's the goal. Yes.
Speaking about, so is the next one going to be another pro fight?
Yes.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can do because
you're also once you go pro, you can't go back.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Just like, you know what they say? Once you go, yeah, right there, you don't go back. Exactly.
Man. All right.
Right.
So, what's on the horizon?
Well, right now we're trying to. COVID messed a lot of things up. Because my coach, he was basically, trying to get me ready to fight. Because even though you can throw anybody in the ring, but to keep somebody safe and basically keep them fighting, whether they win or lose, you want them to make sure they know what they're doing, what they're getting into, the proper techniques and all. And that's one thing about Ring Demon. They want to make sure of before we throw anybody in the ring. And so the coach was making sure I understood that, but making sure I can demonstrate that too. So by the time all that was said and done, and I gotten better, COVID happened, and also it's hard to find for like pro fighters, pro heavyweight fighters.
What about like Vanilla Thunder?
He was part of the team.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be fighting him because he's in the same gym.
Yeah, same gym.
Did he go to a different gym because there's nobody left to fight but you?
No, it wasn't that because he's an amateur. He's still an amateur.
He's still
Really? Last time I checked, it was all because he won quite a few fights up here and all.
Yeah,
and he's pretty well known, especially for his wrestling. And he fought quite a few times, but they were all amateurs and stuff like that. And he was working up way to pro, but he was trying to get all experience. And that's one of the things I noticed. Amateurs, they love promoters and stuff, because they make money off of you. They don't have to give you no money. Mm-hmm. But when you turn pro, then it gets a little bit funny because now they got to pay you, but they try to see, okay, how much money we can make off before we can pay him and all. And if we get 50-50, no deal. But
is it usually a 50-50 split for pro?
Never, because they wouldn't make money. So they'll give you, it depends on how famous you are, your Instagram followers, how popular you are, stuff like that. All that stuff come into play.
See,
yep,
you gotta get on there early, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly right. You gotta be your own promoter. The more you promote yourself, the more you basically talk about yourself and show yourself off, the more people gonna recognize you, the more people gonna want to see you, which the more promoters gonna pay you. It's a popularity contest. I hate to say that.
Yeah. So why do you think? So what happened to Vanilla Thunder? What's he doing now?
Last time I checked or ever heard about him, he moved off to, I don't know.
Construction,
right? Right. Yeah, he's probably doing that right now on his job, actually. I don't know.
He's going to see this go. Next thing you know, you're going to see him back at the gym. Like, what the fuck you
saying? We took his ain't there now. Like, I got to fight this bastard. Yeah. But yeah, he moved. I don't know, where it's in Nevada, Salt Lake City. He moved somewhere around there, but all I know is that he moved, and I think he's still doing. MMA and all. But all I know, he just moved, and I know the team.
He moved where? He's still in Washington?
No, he's not in Washington no more. No, I'm not sure he moved to Nevada. I don't know, maybe Salt Lake City or something, or maybe Utah. He moved somewhere around that area. That's the last time I heard at all. Why I can't really say, but but he just moved down there and probably for a new start of life. I'm not really sure, but I think he's still training and he might be going pro sometime soon. I'm not really sure, but that's all I know. I mean, only thing I could see is see him on Facebook every now and then. That's it.
Yeah, I've seen him, but I haven't seen him in post or do anything like that. So
right.
Yeah, nothing new. But yeah, anyway, but that's a great like caveat. What do pro fighters do for a living? So yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing now?
Well, it depends on what kind of pro fighters. If you saw like say a lot of martial arts will know him. Stipe Miocic, the heavyweight champion, about to fight this action tomorrow. He's a firefighter.
Okay.
So besides being a pro fighter, he's a firefighter. And some of these pro fighters and all do have, jobs and things like that, though, because just being a pro fighter full time doesn't pay all the bills.
What's a pro career before the pro career?
Right, exactly. What's a pro career? It's a number of things. Some of your local plumbers and electricians, some probably work at a deli. It just depends, though. You talk about some of the most famous fighters like Conor McGregor or George St. Pierre. He used to work as a garbage pickup, before he became, who he is now, George St. Pierre.
Garbage truck driver?
The driver or the guy in the back of the truck, I forgot they call it.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to do that for it all too. So it's like anything else. Before they became the big stars, they always have the normal 9 to 5. So that's why.
So what's your normal 9 to 5? What are you doing?
Basically
bring on the bread.
Bring on the bread. I kick people's ass.
Secret ass kicker.
Exactly. Well, I'm basically just into low voltage systems and all. So things like security, fire, stuff like that, stuff that do with low volt things and all, internet, ethernet for residential areas. That's what I'm involved in right there.
All right, so it sounds like a bank robber.
Shh.
Does it? So you're the muscle for bank robbing.
I'm the muscle, right.
All right, that's pretty cool. And so you kind of like were doing martial arts, and then your actual like studying career was kind of like going into the electrical field or whatever. But right now, is that something you're like really passionate about, or is it just something like to fill the space and then you're focusing on martial arts, or is it both?
Well, it's a little bit of both, because I do have an interest in it, and plus it's basically a good career move, and especially if you try to go into the trades, and especially nowadays, and that's an essential job, and we see how essential that is. Since COVID is supposed to be the Great Reset, you definitely see where the industry is
really
going.
Great Reset. I've never heard of it.
Oh, you never heard of it? No, that's what they talked about, because if you go the Great well, that's a whole nother podcast.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it. Right.
What is this Great Reset stuff? I've never heard about that.
Man. Okay, well, I'll try to put it in general perspective there. I'll try to sum it up. Well, they said the Great Reset is if you go back into, say, 3 generations ago, 2 or 3 generations ago, how the world was, or basically how America was.
70s, or we're talking about like 40s?
70s, and actually before the 70s, actually. Probably about 40s, pre-World War II, and things like that. Okay. All right. The Great Reset is basically about how we're getting back to those old norms and all, from family dynamics and stuff like that. How men went out there was the hunters and gatherers, and women were basically the more of the caretakers and all. Because if you look at the coronavirus and what it did to basically the nation or the world, a lot of jobs were lost, a lot of hospitality, things like that. So basically, men had to go out there and still work if they could, and women, usually they tried to find work, or they stayed at home, watched the kids while the father was out there working. So pretty much that was supposed to be so-called one of the reasons for the Great Reset, one of the major reasons. And all. So basically what I'm getting at is like past like the 70s, 80s, 90s, we got more of like a going away from that traditional, and you're saying we're going to go back to that traditional. Well, I'm not saying that we're going to go back, but coronavirus did expose a lot of things. I mean, if you look at it,
so exposed like such as, are you talking about dating wise? Are you talking about family dynamic wise? Because I think like coronavirus, just looking at it, there's a lot more divorces. People are they're breaking up a lot more because they're forced to like live with people a lot. Actually was locked indoors, where typically you would just go to work and you don't see your significant other until you go home. Things like that. And then forced to kind of like spend more time with your family kind of thing, and reevaluate some other things, I would say.
Yeah.
So
I definitely agree. It was definitely that, but also there's been, and I love to see the numbers of this. I don't know if a test has been done yet, but I have noticed, at least just with friends and some family members, there's been an increase in birth rate too, at least a slightly wise, because you locked indoors with your together. What else you gonna do? True. I mean, you can't go get your side chick, and women can't get their side dude. It's just like, okay, we fucking right here.
So what was it like for you with the COVID and your dating life?
Oh man, good way to get in this.
Yeah.
I need to know the drink properly over this.
Really? Well, oh, come on, man. I know you were just sitting there by yourself.
Actually,
waiting to go to the gym.
Well, actually, because if you think about this right here, COVID shut down a lot of shit. A lot of shit didn't open up, so there was no clubs open. So it's like, all right. So how you gonna talk to girls and women?
So like, when me, you, and Vitaly went out in Renton, like when was that? Like right before COVID, right before the lockdown started.
Okay.
Yeah, we met.
Yeah. I remember that.
We met. Dude and his friends.
Right. He had two girls. Yeah, it was his friend cousins.
So,
like, you don't think all Mac daddies over here.
He's called Big G Easy.
Big
G Easy. And he's doing a whole thing on TikTok. He's got this whole like little TikTok thing happening.
I was wondering. All right.
Yeah, so he's pretty funny guy.
Nice.
I
remember.
Yeah, he's a funny guy, and then his friends were all cool. And you got man, her name's like nickname. It's basically her nickname is her name. She's like she's a precious gem.
Precious gem.
So yeah, her and then their friends. They invited us to a party later on. What was that in September?
I remember that.
That was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool for you. I know.
Yeah.
I heard. I was like, oh my god, like really? Did you do that?
Yeah, dude.
Man, I was like,
oh man, great times.
Yeah, I bet you did.
We actually got invited again to that same place, this time by a different social group. It was like Russian groups in Seattle or whatever, and they threw a party, same place. And we're like, what are the chances?
Right.
Yeah. So I guess like there's no other places to rent out.
Exactly. Darn it, if I only had spoken. I gotta work on my Russian, man, so I can get in these groups, man. I'm telling you, I feel lonely there.
No, I'm pretty sure there is. Actually, I just started a new one.
Yeah,
it's called Always Invited.
Always Invited.
Yeah, and I got it from a girl in California. She gave me the idea. Said it's kind of like some similar thing located in Arizona, where basically it's a private group, and then you just basically you vet the people before you invite them. So everybody has the responsibility of vetting the person before you invite them. So you don't invite weirdos.
Nice. There you go. That sounds good. There you go.
Just like cool people that your friends would be cool with or whatever, and not gonna start drama or anything like that. And then now you have this big group of friends that you kind of like develop further, and you're kind of using technology to do that. So
right.
I'll send you an invite.
Okay, you don't mind? Yeah. My Russian may be a little bit,
it's not just Russians. It's just everybody.
But so there you go. Get on invited and come on. Hey, let me bet you out.
Always invited.
Always invited. Always invited. There you go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So dating life for you during COVID, what happened?
Oh, it was more. I just say this to me, it was terrible because I'm more of a.
Because I noticed when we were wrestling together, you got super close and you got so distant.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, I just felt that like I got to have that human touch, that human interaction, then when you go away, the first couple of months of it was horrible because the gym was closed for a minute, so it's like okay, we couldn't train, and then the owner after a while got tired of it. You know what? He just said, "Fuck it." Like the risk and all. And you remember that person the day it opened. He made an announcement and he just said, hey, you come at your own risk. You if you want to be here, fine. If you don't want to be here, either way, cool. But we're going to remain open and we're going to train. And so that gave me a little part of my sanity right there, that human interaction. But for as dating wise, terrible because, I'm used to going to maybe some bars or clubs that were closed down. And I think still some of them might be kind of open up in the bars. But other than that was terrible. So the only thing you can do is online.
But I did notice that you became unavailable at some point. Less available than before. So what's going on there?
You say less available.
Yeah. So you got a girl right now?
Do I have a girl right now? Yeah. No, I don't have a girl right now.
You don't have a girl right now?
I don't have a girl right now. I know. That's the thing. Dating. That's why I was like, dating up here to me is a little bit. It's tricky. I hadn't quite figured it out yet. It's just like being myself, I'm thinking, okay, I must be that guy who smiles too much. But if I smile too much, I look kind of geeky and crazy, I guess. And then if I look too serious, oh, look, he looks scary, So I guess so. I'm not sure which one it is.
No.
But no girl, man. No girl, no, man. I guess I work, train, and try to get better basically get better as a man, and try to improve myself.
It's tough. It's tough because especially if you have a career, and then training takes a lot of time too.
Yep.
And then like the girls, you have to dedicate time for them as well, which is dedicating a time for another person, I think. So. Well,
also when you think about dating up here, it's not just about dedicating the time as well, but also do that want you too, and that goes in another subject too. Like, what do the modern women today want in a man?
No!
Oh,
yeah,
here we go.
No, I got you.
He knows now. You know.
Yeah, you go, dude.
Right.
It's Seattle. It's Seattle.
Right.
So when me and Zohan and Evo Sam went to California or Texas, or we're about to go to Florida here shortly, man. Way different. Way different.
Yep.
Way different environment. I don't know what you ladies here in Seattle are like doing, but you guys need to
take notes.
Like read a book or something. Go to the South. It's probably like the weather. I'm not gonna clown on you guys over here, but it's probably the weather. You can't do as much things. It's not as sunny. You can't go out. There's not that many outside door activities. Yes, you have the bars. Yes, you have online, but that's still kind of weird in a sense. We haven't adapted to it yet to be like more acceptable. It's still kind of weird when you're like, "Hey, what's up? My name is whatever," and "Hey, I really like that picture. You're looking really cute." Right. You you want to hang out?
Yep.
You want to get a drink? Yeah. Oh, what's so interesting about you?
Yep.
And there isn't that like. I guess interpersonal dynamic that you would normally have if you were met somebody doing something, which is more
just
like
everyday.
spontaneous.
Yeah, spontaneous, right. Yeah. They just love spontaneously, but I was like, how can you be spontaneous if you got resting bitch face? Okay. Yeah. But yeah, that's a whole. But yeah, it's definitely a different.
So did you hear that, ladies? This. Man is single and ready to mingle.
Wow. Okay.
6'7" Taekwondo MMA pro fighter.
Oh man, look at that. All right, let's see me hit something.
Mic drop.
But yeah. But it's definitely been strays. But hopefully, we'll get back together. But like I said, I mean, I'm not really worried about it so much because, concentrating on the things I got to do. Plus, also getting back to traveling, and hopefully I can go down to Mexico for a little bit. And I'm looking at Hawaii and then Alaska as well. So looking forward to getting back to things that gave me some peace and also was fun. And traveling is one of the things I always love to do.
Hell yeah. Well, my brother gave me some news recently that he's going to be moving to Hawaii.
Really?
Yeah, so
nice.
I'll have a place to visit down there besides just like getting a hotel and be staying around in the resorts or whatever. So like we could probably make a trip out of it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. If you wanted to put it on your thing,
please, love to.
Check it out as like an adventure instead of going by yourself or whatever.
Right. You say you're visiting Florida too, right?
Yeah.
What part of Florida? Because I got a brother that's down there.
It's like Miami and up there like Daytona Beach. That was the plan. But basically, there's a wedding that happened during COVID, and then they weren't supposed to get married, but then they got married in the woods. And so I like to call them the wooded folk.
Like that wood folk.
Yeah, the wood folk. And then these wood folk are finally getting out of the woods, and so they're gonna go. They're having this like dinner party. In Florida, nice. And so they live around. Like they live in Portland, but they're doing it in Florida. So basically the wedding was supposed to be in the Dominican Republic. It was going to be this whole thing, and then all of a sudden go there. Yes. So I don't know why they chose to not just wait it out.
I know. Right now, just couldn't wait.
Traveling is cheap now, and Dominican Republic would be pretty crazy right now.
Right.
Yeah, it's what's another year? They're just gonna wait. They wanted to go at it like rabbits.
I'll say it. Yeah, I got a brother that stays in Orlando. I've been to Florida so many times growing up as a kid, and now going to the Disney World resorts and things like that. Oh, Miami, oh god, you gonna have a time. Good God, I love that place. It's expensive to live, but if you go there.
No, I feel like I've been to Tampa. I've also been into other places and along the beach over there, but I think Miami's overrated, and it's like it's overrated, yeah, and it's. it'd be like the tourist trap type of thing. And so
it can be depending on what you do and who you know down there. Basically saying,
yeah,
it can be done.
I think like Zohan needs to be here because he's been down there and he's told me some crazy stories. So he basically some crazy stories about the clubs and it's like some of the environments. And if you got some local guys that live down there, like you're saying, your brother or whatever, that'd be a big help to like,
right.
Yeah, especially having a big guy like you, walking around, give us some notoriety or whatever.
Right. It's about like who you are. It's about like who you are, who you know.
Is it really bougie down there?
It definitely is some bougie. I mean, you're gonna have. I mean, think about it. You're down in Miami, the port of Miami. You're gonna have everybody down there from famous movie stars, multi-millionaires. I mean, it's Miami. That's one thing. It attracts some of the hottest women down there, and you get the hottest women. You're gonna have the richest guys, of course, there too. You're gonna have your gold diggers, and then you're gonna have your women who are just fine, who is about something too. Yeah. It just depends on who you are, who you know, and how good your game is, I guess, pretty much. So it's not saying it's impossible for just average Joe to do good, but then you are against some stiff competition too. Don't forget that.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I just like it's a different type of environment. I'm not. Yeah,
of course.
I don't think we're used to over here. You have to be bouginess ain't gonna get you anywhere.
Right.
And like dating in Seattle, you kind of get used to. You have to put your like best forward because there's you and then there's 15 other guys just like you.
Oh shit! Yeah. So all right. So it's a numbers game.
Okay. Exactly. It's a numbers game. And so out of that, you have like, well, it's not, and everyone's unique in their own way.
Well,
obviously,
of course.
But you have to be. Above that crowd or whatever, which is kind of stupid, It's like that kind of competition bullshit.
Right.
Like you can kind of like pierce right through it, but what happens is before someone gets to know you, they have this guard up that is like always like, oh, you're just another face in the crowd, and then before you got to break through that.
But through that all. Yeah. Right, and I noticed that about up here in Seattle too. They have this, what do they call it? Seattle Freeze.
Yeah.
You heard it? Yeah.
I've heard of it. What is that?
I was warned that when I first got up here, and that Seattle Freeze was basically you're the new guy in town. People kind of know you're not, because one thing I know is about, like, at least since I moved up here, people wear kind of dark gray, black mostly all the time when it goes. When you're wearing something bright or something different, you kind of stick out from the crowd. And when you're trying to say, in using the South, we say hello to everybody, or hi, how you doing, and stuff like that. It's just Southern hospitality. Not up here. And when you say hi to somebody, they kind of look at you either strange, like, who the hell are you? And just keep walking, or they just ignore you while they're on the phone and keep walking. And that's supposed to the Seattle Freeze. Or someone will entertain it and then say, hey, let's go and get some coffee sometime or something like that. I'll buy, let's go ahead and just hang out. They're like, okay, yeah, sure. Here's my number. And then they ghost and never hear from them.
Yeah.
And so-called, that's the Seattle Freeze right there, at least the newcomers.
Yeah, I feel like just to go, the act of just to go out somewhere, you're not only dealing with that awkwardness of like that first relationship or whatever.
Right.
You're also dealing with the cold. So you're like,
that's another one. Right.
You're not comfortable. Like, oh God.
Yes.
Like,
the cold. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's when it gets cloudy though.
So how did you meet Zohan?
Oh man,
how was that interaction?
The great Zohan. Yeah, shout out to Zohan. Wish you could be here.
One of the things I noticed when I'm sparring with this guy is like out of nowhere, he looks like he's really on something. Like he's on to something. Or on something, like his eyes are like
either one. It could be both.
And all of a sudden he goes like woo, and then just like these like really heavy punches just come out of nowhere. Just like, woo, and he's like it's like he's trying to fake it or like do some kind of like dancing move.
Right.
But then out of nowhere that fucking thing hits you and it's just like boom.
Oh, like Jesus Christ.
What is that?
The power of the Zohan.
Zohan, dude.
I bet Zohan, I'm like you through the gym and just knowing him over time. And I noticed he had an accent. I was like, man, where you from? He's from here, but he's Russia and things like that. I was like, oh, really? I was like, okay, no problem and stuff like that. And just got used to his accent and just known him over time. And
did you start training with him right away or?
Not just right away, but we trained together a few times because we started training together a few times probably about I want to say 2 years ago. I want to say because there was no other big guys. He was the only guy that was bigger than the regular guys we got in the gym. So it's like, okay, let's go. And we've been going in, and for until you came at all, we've been going at each other ever since then because he was the only guy that was at least close to my weight actually.
Yeah. He's always giving me tips on like how to get you. He's like, oh, is
it right?
Greg's slow over here.
So you hear that? There comes Sparring against me. I do it.
You need to do this. Then like, boom, you're gonna have him do.
You see,
he's gonna lose his shit. He's gonna lose it.
They're always against the black man. You know what I'm saying? No, I was joking.
I think it's because like you're like up there, because my skill level is like behind you by like 10 years. So
that's all right. You'll get there. You'll get there, man. I'm just happy you coming. I mean, doing coming consistently. I was like, man, you're gonna be a beast. Especially you military too, right?
Yeah.
So it's some things you probably need to learn or should learn.
No,
actually.
not really. I don't think it has an effect. I mean, like you will use it eventually, but in that kind of case, I think it's whose friend gets there first.
Whose friend gets there first? Yeah. Well, just in case the friend can't get there. Yeah. Just in case.
Then you'll be all right.
Right.
Yeah, but I think like with what's going down there, unless you're fighting like equal force, which we don't really see, or near peer adversaries, since we're not seeing that kind of stuff, like the likelihood of that other person going to a gym or something that like what we're doing or anything like that, even the type of training that we do, the likelihood of a below near peer to do that is low. So like third world nations, even though as hard as they try, I don't think that they they're there. And so the little it's a little bit of training. It's not even a lot. You just like the combatives training, they give you an edge versus anything else. But if it's a near peer enemy, they're having the same bullshit like little ass training, and then that's where like this kind of thing would play a role.
Right.
I don't see that realistically something like that happen like World War III. I mean,
of course not World War II, but just the domestic wise, just the regular
domestic operations type of stuff.
Yeah.
You could see that. Yeah. That's another COVID little twinkle on that strawberry, like COVID, like how divided the nation has become, Republicans and Democrats or whatever, and then
we got a third party now.
Yeah,
Trump's supporters.
We'll see. I think that'll hurt the Republican Party because they'll come from there. But even right now, like all the stuff that Biden wants to do for immigration and things like that, there's a crisis on the border right now. With the people sorting the border that they said they wouldn't have done if Trump was president, but now they're trying to get in while the gates are open.
Floodgates are open.
Freedom.
Open the floodgates. Here we go.
So that's and it's kind of like it's kind of a breath of fresh air from the business side, because I think there was a huge noticeable shift once Trump became president, that there was like a certain amount of skill that had left the market, because like no matter what you say or whatever or anybody thinks, migrant workers or illegal immigrants or whatever, they play a big role in the industry. And a lot of companies lost like high level skill, which they couldn't replace with American workers because American workers are lazy.
That's it. I was waiting for you to say it. Yes.
Yeah.
And I noticed that too. That's what some of the guys who run some of these sites say, that man, they would love to hire just American workers, but the kids / people are lazy. They don't want to either show up on time, or they can't even pass a drug test, or just stuff like that.
Smoke weed.
Smoke weed and all. I'm thinking like, and here are these jobs that are paid at least a good wage and all, even starting out, and then when you get a journeyman, oh man, you roll.
I guess it's a kind of a good thing. You open the gates and you say, hey, you know what, guys? Hey, there's a lot of good paying jobs up here. These idiots want to smoke weed.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've noticed one thing about that though. It's like, who was that saying? There's no such thing as a free sandwich. So if you do, like you said, yeah, okay, you got the illegal immigrants coming and taking jobs. What's happening on the back end? There's always a cause and effect on every single thing you do.
Well, back end, like you get shit done.
You get shit done, true enough. But does that means little Billy, Jimmy, or whoever is out of a job and now taking government assistance because they can't really afford to live like that.
But they take government assistance for a certain period of time.
Certain period of time, and then I've seen some people fall off, but then they get back on and stuff like that. And I've seen that too because they have a kid/family, and then that mother or whoever is collecting checks. And I have seen it before when I was back in Arkansas. When I worked, I noticed like, okay, my next door neighbor, she had I think 3 kids. I don't think she married. She had a live-in boyfriend. The boyfriend went to work, and they never married because she was getting government assistance every time for each kid. So every time I seen her, she's on the morning. Every time I'm in the morning, she was on the front porch. When I come back from work, she's still on that front porch. Mm-hmm. And I was doing that from years on. And I was like, how in the hell? And when I see her in the grocery store, she had more groceries than I did.
Yeah.
And I was working.
Yeah.
I'm like, how? And it just sliced out with a card.
It's frustrating that I've actually ran into the problem in my in auto repair where I'm trying to hire like high quality technicians, and some of the one dude specifically was really good mechanic, and he decided that he didn't want to work with us because he wanted to work under the table. We didn't want to pay him we weren't going to pay him under the table or do anything like that. It was completely legit because that's how we do business.
Right.
And he wanted to. He worked with us for a little while, and then he went back to under the table work where he makes almost $40 an hour, but he gets government assistance and he gets like medical insurance for all his kids, and he's got like 5 kids or some shit like that. And it's frustrating because I'm like, dude, it's really hard to find a high quality tech, and he can do this because the government has no backbone to stop this kind of stuff,
Yep.
So it's frustrating, and like. And some people might think, don't talk about it like this on this kind of forum or whatever because it might be out there or whatever. But you know what? Fuck that guy. I got to work, and I got to work to pay for his free handouts or whatever because I don't get those.
Exactly.
Because I'm actually trying to do it legit.
Exactly.
So.
The price. You pay the price just to be legit, ain't that?
Yeah, no, but that dude, he's making a good. He's making $40 an hour, and then it's tax free because he's under the table. Bullshit, and that's fucking stupid.
Yep.
So it's, but it is what it is. That's just the one thing. The other spectrum of it is. I've interviewed a lot of people for multiple positions and like in automotive field, and I have ran into I would probably say like 40% of the applicants are the unemployment junkies, and they're basically and I had one guy that came on, and then he I swear to God he was just doing it just to like he was doing things to get terminated. Then it was before we were smart enough to document it as well as we do now. But I think we still got him.
Think you got him?
Yeah, I think we still got him. But
got that man. Yeah.
But basically, he was trying to like play the system enough to get terminated, and then like just to be a shitty worker so he could get unemployment.
Yep, Uncle Sam. I'm paid to save days.
No, because we have to pay for it.
Yeah,
you have to pay a certain percentage. Uncle Sam pays most of it, but the employer has to pay a certain percentage, and it's like 15% or something.
Yeah, if I could sit at home, collect $1,500 or whatever, something $100 a week or however they do it,
That means like somebody else has to work. So then you can sit at home.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I remember when the pandemic first happened. I was still working. I was hearing stories about guys in construction. They were trying to get fired, so they knew like, hey, my company and Uncle Sam was gonna pay me a couple $100 a week to sit at home. It was real bad in Portland. I've talked to store clerks. They said, they heard of so many stories, and that was everybody. They were trying to get fired. They've never seen so many people trying to get fired. And I was thinking like, man, if government just stopped up, because remember, the government is not a business. It doesn't make money. I mean, they make money, printing money, but they don't make money legitimately.
No, it's you and me, man.
Right.
You have to pay for it.
Exactly.
So it's bullshit. And then like we had to work. We didn't. It didn't stop. COVID stopped for everybody else, and then like everybody get to sit at home. I mean, some people it was really bad. They didn't get paid,
of course.
But the people that did this like purposefully or whatever, just to like sit on their ass. Like fuck you.
Right.
Fuck you, you piece of shit. because everybody else had to carry your weak ass to the grocery store so you could eat your fucking donuts.
Yes.
And
sit on your fat ass.
And all that, you know. Yeah. So fuck you.
And this comes from a business owner. Listen to him. Listen to him.
Yeah, man. We had to survive that. There was a point where I was talking to Zohan. Actually, he came out to his work stopped completely. As in auto repair, we slowed down, but it didn't really stop because people started fixing their cars more. Because they stopped buying, and started buying or whatever. Anyway, he came by in the back, and we were like, "Man, are we all gonna die? You know, like is that what's gonna happen?" But
oh man,
yeah. And then now we got protests in Seattle. Have you heard about that?
Man, I have not been kept up with it because I have heard of so many protests going on from Seattle, especially down in Portland too, where I think they still do have an autonomous zone up, or they just built another one. I heard.
Really?
Yeah, they really did. Really? I mean, if you look at it now, because remember they did have the
Chaz.
They had the Chaz up in Seattle, but I think I wish I could look this up real quick, but I could have swore Portland had a so-called Chaz before we did, but it remained a lot longer. But I remember it was terrible down in Portland. I had some friends out in Portland tell like, man, do not come to Portland. At least downtown wise, they was cutting that off from everybody. They had their own autonomous zone there, last for weeks, actually months. Actually, they took it down, but I think there's another one built up. But Seattle doesn't surprise me. It's right next to it.
Yeah, man. So it's like protest season happening again, starting up. Like,
well, getting down to the end. So, I wanted to ask you. So, what do you look forward to, or just in martial arts wise? Why do you look forward to fighting? Are you interested in competing at all, or is it just something to do just for in shape, mental focus, and things like that for you? What's your journey in it?
You see, it's an interesting question because a lot of people have been asking me that recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nice. The orthodontist people asked me that.
Oh, yeah, I can understand. They want to get paid a little bit more.
They asked me that. So let's drink.
Drink to the orthodontist. Right. There we go.
Somebody else asked me that. Oh, my mom's roommate asked me that.
Mom's roommate. All right, very good.
But, why do I do it? So, one of the reasons I would say is probably there was a time, I guess, where I'd say Zohan, he would show his kind of dominance in the room or whatever. So like I would be like under the influence a little bit, and I'd be like, if we ever really got at it, like where would I would be, you know? And then that question also, like listening to Jordan Peterson and studying that stuff, it led to if someone could have something on you, like what can they do? And if they have something on you, like over you, or something can have something over you, what does that mean to your kid, right? Something has something over you, and so the other thing I started thinking about also was like now that I'm a father, I've been a father now for a little bit, but same question is I'm the father figure. So I have to be all-knowing type, right? Okay. So martial arts and fighting is one of those things that people always assume that I know how to do, but I don't, right? So I want to know how to do it to a point where, wherever it takes me. I was also always a sporty guy, did football, all that stuff. And I like to get good at whatever I do, and I find interest in it. And it's really interesting thing. And not a lot of people do it. And it's not about like recognition. It's about actually like figuring out that equation and becoming good at it. And it's a good way to stay in shape. Those other things, but mostly it's being all-knowing and being the protector figure, and that's what you need to do. You need to know how to fight. And so I think at its root cause, it's for me, I would probably explain it as it's one of the three pillars of an all-encompassing man. Is you have to be a strong, powerful person that knows.
Yeah, you said three pillars. What are the three pillars?
Like I would describe like a being as like a stool. So one of them would probably be like your physical, mental ability to kind of dominate, not dominate by force, but like dominate mentally, physically, all those things like to advance against the competition or whatever.
Right.
And then the other one would probably be spiritual.
Okay.
So we'd have spiritual, physical, mental, and no, you got mental would be psychological. So I'm putting the mental and physical together.
Okay.
And then kind of like purpose. Yeah, your purpose. So like you find like what you find your meaning in life. Basically.
Is it something like I think you said one time? I think we was at the coach's house. I think you said with the hero's journey, something like that. Do you remember this?
Yeah. But would fighting be a hero's journey? Yes, it would.
It can,
but it's like maybe it's like a tool.
Right.
It's like the talisman, and where would it take you? Sure.
Right.
Am I thinking about it as it's going to be like do I want to be like a crazy champion or like the top of the pillar or whatever?
Right.
It's possible, but I'm seeing the championships in other areas that interest me as well.
Okay.
That like dedication to 100% to become world like Conor McGregor or whatever. Right. Like something like that. I'm okay with not being that, but if it's like because I have to, I feel like I have to, and everybody has to kind of develop in other areas as well.
Right.
Like if you dedicate yourself 100%, yes, you will become really, really good at it. But will you become the best?
That's a different story. Yeah.
Sure. So like exactly, you may not, and so you will become successful because you dedicate yourself in anything or whatever. You'll become successful. But I think that for me, it's more interest. Like I want to dedicate myself to. I like doing something. I like doing this. I like doing this. I like doing this, and I want to put my eggs in more than one basket. And I know they say don't do that. Don't put your eggs in more than one basket.
Right.
But like I find enjoyment out of multiple things versus just sticking to one thing and then letting everything else like be regret.
Right.
So
yeah, definitely. So that's how that's the meaning of life. That's how you find yourself. That's how you find your meaning and purpose, by putting those things in, in different areas. How else you might love this, but you might be terrible at it. Then again, you might not like this, but you might be just great at it and all. You never know. Yeah. And just being great at something like that or master at something can change your whole life and whole perspective and the way you live and all about that.
Well, have you ever read Robert Greene?
Robert Greene. I heard that name.
Author? Like 48 Laws of Power.
Yes, I heard that. Yes, I read that book.
So he wrote a book called Mastery, and he basically was talking about the idea of like mastering one skill. Then like becoming really, really good at it and letting that propel you and whatnot. And then like that makes sense, but like I feel really hesitant about doing that. And then because there's just so much to do and so much exciting things you can do. Right. It's like being locked into one thing, But like then you also have to play into a fact that it's only 24 hours in a day. You only have so much energy to do so many things. And if you do split yourself up too thin or spread yourself out too thin, you're never going to accomplish anything.
That's true. So
you have to make the sacrifice.
Would you say then, instead of splitting yourself into like 10 different things, probably about 2 or 3 things, like one you might be like, okay, you're interested in, one you like, I'm okay in it, but like I'm really good at it, it's that way you become a master at one. And that's one of the things I know there's a lot of few people we have a lot of jacks of all trades, but very few masters of any trade or any skill and all.
Yeah, I think like I'd like to master a few skills,
right?
And then not. And when I say a few, I think there's enough time in a day and time in your life to master multiple skills. You shouldn't just be like, you master one and you're like, that's it, I'm done, I'm pooped out. And I'm just going to work in that area or whatever, do something, whatever. So I don't know what that is for me. There's like the military like pushed me into being like a sponge, absorbing a lot of information really quickly, and like discovering things that I didn't know was out, like whatever, being a jack of all trades kind of, but a generalist. No. And I don't know if I'll specialize in something. I am specializing in automotive field as a career thing, but I'm trying to move away from that. I'm trying to get it to grow so I can free my time up so I can do other things that other is like sales and online products, things like that. And, which stems off from auto repair also, but, then marketing and, things like that. And then my mom says the same shit. It's like, you need to focus on one thing. But
yeah, and I can see why, like, folks
fucking shit's boring. Man, get out of here. Or maybe somebody's gonna watch this like, oh, bro, I'm a psychologist, and you have ADHD, some drugs, man.
Oh, what the hell are they talking about now? All right, definitely so.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's kind of like what I'm seeing with fighting. I feel like I'll go. I'll go pretty well, and as I learn more, like jiu-jitsu, as I start understanding it more, I'll be able to train a lot more instead of like just like right now I feel like I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and so like
it's awkward. I was the same way. I was the same way.
I know there'll be a time before I know to the I know phase.
Yep.
I know there will be that time, but right now I'm still in the I don't fucking know what the
hell I'm doing, right?
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I need to switch from this position to this position.
Right. All right, for those though, so yeah, if you don't know what the hell you're doing, hey, come on over. You don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. But I know more than others,
There you go.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. What about you, man? Because, like, when's the career going to end for you?
Oh, man.
You're already talking about retiring?
Well, the reason, because don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm just going ahead and say it. I'm the oldest one besides the coach, the second oldest one in the gym and all, but the coach is not fighting, I am. So basically, I'm the oldest fighter in that gym, basically. And so even though I still feel young, still feel strong, I am getting better, skills wise getting better. It just, I know the body does sometimes, as you get older, certain injuries and stuff like that, either happen or it takes twice as long to heal, which I found out the hard way. So it's one of those things, like, if you're not trying to be a world champion, or you're just in it just to be in it, it's like, man, I think it was Freddie Roach who said, if you ain't trying to be a world champion, get the fuck out. It is too dangerous, because you got guys who are really trying to knock your head off, who are younger, stronger, and faster, to put over your name so they can get to the top. So why are you going to be in this profession just for fun and all? But it's something but one thing I would never retire from is martial arts, because I just love it. I mean, it gave me so much growing up, and it made me who I am today and all. And like I said, trying to coach and things like that, and trying to give that back to other people and other kids and stuff like that. Man,
and who knows, man? Maybe in the future your position would change, and like maybe you'll have like a spark, and then you become like some crazy stuff, and if you just gave up, that'd be something else,
Right. And martial arts, to me, martial arts ties to so many things, and that's one thing I'm grateful about the coach, because you can tie the martial arts, jiu-jitsu, or whatever you want to call it, into every single area you have in your life. Whether you have a business, whether you just try to learn a skill, whether you try to learn how to sail, it all ties into that. And that's what martial arts is. It's self-expression. It's an art and all. And that's why I'm like, man, I wish everybody could take martial arts, and it doesn't matter what form or style you take, but it is more mental than it is physical. But you'd be surprised where it takes you, though.
Yeah. And like you could take I've definitely noticed like dealing with people, like I'm way less I'm actually not afraid at all to just shoot it straight, and just tell you what's up. And before I would be a little bit more like, kind of like, we're like what might happen or whatever. But now it's just like there's this confidence there.
Yes,
like no matter what happens, wherever this conversation goes, I'm gonna beat your fucking ass.
It's something about that, just being able to control. Like I can whoop your ass too. It's like, I'm gonna whoop your fucking ass. Something about, I don't know what it is. I think it's the human thing. It's maybe the dominance thing.
And then and then you would never get in an argument, and some other person that does martial arts as well, like. You would never get into like such a disagreement about something where it would lead to that.
Right.
But like there would be something to keep a level headed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would always kind of be like, you know, whatever the disagreement is, you know what, it's time to part ways and like you be bygones be bygones or whatever, or like find some kind of resolution, some kind of like whatever. But
right.
When something else was people like fucking.
Boom. Yeah, bump heads and like, local sounds,
Like, I ain't backing down. Let's see where
it goes. Like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
I actually see your boy Zohan in one of the. He showed me a picture. He showed me a little video of him fighting. I was like, oh my god, this was a long time ago. But you seen it? Yeah, right. I was like, oh my god, like, dude, really? Yeah, this was my first year of me knowing him. I was like, okay, you're that kind of guy. you get to fight just readily in bars.
Yeah, no. Well, I was like outside neighbors or
something like that, right? That's what he told me.
What are you doing at Neighbors, Zohan? What are you doing at Neighbors?
We need to know.
All right. Well, anyway, it was great having you on here, Greg. I was excited and thought about it for a while. So I hope you had a great time.
Oh, I did, man. Appreciate it for coming.
I hope you invite me to your podcast because you have that beautiful radio voice.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying to work on that now. Coming soon. Stay tuned.
So, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Any last words for the peeps?
Man, don't know what to say. I just say it's been a damn crazy year and stuff. Hopefully we get back to some type of normalcy soon. But for those who are going through it, stay strong, and we'll get back to normal sometime soon, man. But until then, just say, hey, everybody stay strong, keep your head up, and keep on marching forward.